Namaste and welcome to the Essence of Knowledge weekly meeting. This meeting is a part of the Essence of Knowledge program, which is a complete program, free and online, and it is available for all seekers on gyanmark.guru. In these meetings, I try to answer your questions and I try to help in your verification. We conduct exams and I help in your practices, purification, etc. etc. So, all are welcome, and if there are any questions, you can write them here. All questions are most welcome. Okay, we have a question by Bhupen. On the path of knowledge, we do not force desires to cease and try to experience that the desires are illusory and not ours. But if a sinful desire comes and we allow it to happen and just witness it, then can we deny its painful consequences? Yes. If you simply witness any desire, allow it to arrive in the mind and then it goes away, because obviously everything is impermanent and the mind is the most impermanent, very fast and always changing. You can avoid the consequences of that desire. Having a desire is one thing, appearance of a desire is one thing, and acting on it is another. If there is a desire, it's perfectly okay. But if there is an action, then there are always consequences. It can be anything. The consequence is not in our control. It can be good, bad, neutral, anything. And the desire is also not in our control, because there is no doer. There is nobody who desires it. It simply appears on the screen of the mind, on the screen of the experiencer, just like everything appears in nature. Sun rises, moon rises, night, day, rain, clouds, trees, animals. These things are appearing same way. Emotions, thoughts, desires, memories, these are appearing. There is nothing wrong here. Then the actions happen and there are consequences of the actions. That is the law. If you can avoid the action through awareness practice, by remaining aware of what appears in the mind and choosing, using your intellect, what actions to perform, then you can avoid many consequences, especially the suffering can be avoided. You will notice, if you pay attention, that 90% of the desires are completely useless. You can simply watch them and let go of these desires. But remaining are necessary for life, survival. And some are necessary for a good life. For example, the desire for entertainment, desire to eat something tasty. Because without these desires, the life becomes boring, monotonous. But accept that everything else is simply impulses in the mind. You don't need to act on them. Your life will happen beautifully. This is called minimalism, that you don't start acting on the next thing that comes in the mind. Minimalism is not only physical, it is also about the body and about the mind. There are some assumptions in your question that the desires are sinful. They are illusory, that observation is correct. But labeling it as sinful or good, we can say good or bad desires, is ignorance. They are what they are. They arise out of impressions on the memory. They are what they are. Then your conditioning or ignorance, the wrong knowledge, puts them into categories of good or bad. No, they are just there. That is happening. The actions can be good or bad. Yes. Actions can be good or bad. How do we know which action is good, which is bad? That which gives us good consequences is good action. That whose consequences are not good is bad action. This is the concept of karma here, the karmic theory. Now, as I said, there is no control over the consequences. So, it is decided only in retrospect whether that action was good or not good. I'm going to give you a simple example how illusory this classification of good and bad actions is. Suppose you are traveling somewhere, you need to go to airport and you are getting late, which is the usual scenario. Everybody must have faced this. Now you have two options: drive slowly and securely, safely, where there is a chance of missing the flight, or you drive fast, take some risk, and you reach on time. Your desire is very innocent. Your desire is to finish the work. Your desire is to successfully travel wherever you are going, reach your destination. That is not good and that is not bad. It is what it is. Now the action, you have a choice here. Let us say you drive fast, you reach airport and you reach your destination without any problems. You will say in retrospect, only after it has happened, you will say it was a good decision. It was a good desire and it was a good action. Suppose something bad happens on the way, your car breaks down or accident happens and you get stuck there, or the traffic police stops you because you are speeding too much. You will say that was a bad action. I shouldn't have done that. Now I missed my flight and the whole day is ruined. My mood is totally spoiled. Suffering, isn't it? The desire is same. The desire is not sinful, bad, good, nothing. Depending on the consequence, it was classified as bad action. So, good desire, good action, bad action, it is all arbitrary and random. Nobody does it. Nobody has any control. One person's good action can be another person's bad action. It happens in war. The person who kills and wins the war, good action. He gets medals and after he dies, his statue is erected. But the one who loses the battle faces death, is killed. So one person's good action is another person's bad action. It keeps changing. And you already know that which changes is false. I wanted to point out this ignorance. Give up all the concepts. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. And act knowing this fully. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Act wisely, intelligently, in awareness, and that will reduce the painful consequences. Another way is a stupid way. For a stupid person, they classify some desires as sinful, some desires are good, and they classify some actions as good, some actions are as bad, and they remain like this, frozen. They cannot think anything else, and they cannot do anything else. They cannot change. They are not flexible. We call such people narrow-minded or dogmatic because they do not change according to the situation because of these concrete beliefs in their mind, which is simply ignorance. So let go of all the concepts. Act wisely, moment by moment. And similarly, we should not judge other people as having good desires, good actions, bad actions. No, they are animated by their impressions. With this knowledge, in the light of knowledge, the judgment stops. However, you need to live your life in this world, in the samsara. So, again, you choose wisely. Avoid those people who are causing painful consequences for you, who are causing suffering to you, and enjoy the company of people who are mostly good to you. Always remembering that this is not a rule. Anything can happen. This is illusion. This is a dream. Anything can happen. Nobody is really good and nobody is really bad. So on the path of knowledge, a concession was made. An ethical framework was given to people who cannot accept this simple fact that in the existence nothing is good and nothing is bad. Nothing is ethical, nothing is unethical. It is what it is. But some people cannot accept this. So some ethics was given and the ethical framework is called non-violence. Do that which is non-violent. And the non-violence means not causing any kind of harm. Physical, bodily, mental, spiritual. So I have given you the complete recipe how to act. Rinki has a question. I know the essence of myself and it's an experiencer and everything else is just an illusion in the form of experiences. Now I lose the motivation of doing anything X office work and homework. Example, office work and homework. In the website, I use the self-talk tool to know more about this and it answered that it happens initially in the path and eventually you will get back to it. Yes. That GCR is very smart, isn't it? My answer is exactly the same. Losing motivation of doing anything at all is technically called detachment. And detachment is a very natural consequence of knowledge. On the one hand, the knowledge that I am the experiencer. Remember, not an experiencer. You are not an experiencer. You are the experiencer. There is only one. It is the existence. So it brings peace, bliss, and freedom, liberation. Nothing to do now. On the other hand, it brings complete detachment. That the ego that was motivated by selfish desires. Remember, just now I said there is no bad desire, but here we can say that ego labels its desires as my own, and that causes a lot of motivation because it is mine. Plus, the ignorance says that it is real. Desire is real, action is real, consequence is real. So there is a lot of fire in that action. And you can see that it is like a zombie life. Something is happening in the mind and the body is acting out. Whether it is office work, whether it is homework, whether it is anything. My guru used to say that the life of an ordinary person, a jnani, is a series of compulsions. That's all it is. Nothing meaningful happens. It is a zombie life that immediately stops as soon as you realize the illusory nature of what is happening, and as soon as you realize the blissful nature of what you are. The only natural consequence is detachment. Now, as I said, it's not bad, it is not good, it is what it is, this is what happens. Now the ego comes back again and says, look, your life was so good. My life, it says, my life was so good. It was full of action, it was full of adventure, it was full of joy and sorrow, everything. Now nothing is there. It is all meaningless. Who is saying? Not you, not the experiencer. Experiencer is complete silence. Ego says. It complains like this. There is no motivation. Go back to your darkness. The ego says like this. Go back to your ignorant life. This is boring here. This is what the ego is saying. So what do we do? We continue on the path. Because that ego talk is coming from the ignorance. It is coming from the old impressions, not new knowledge. Why this is happening? Because the old is not completely given up and the new is not completely accepted. You are moving from one phase to another. Before knowledge, after knowledge. These two phases of life. And in between there is a transition time. It gets over. Just like GCR said, it gets over. The transition is completed. As soon as you are established in awareness, that ego talk is witnessed. Whatever it is mostly garbage. It is mostly the pull of the illusion. You can say like this poetically. The Maya is pulling you back. Come back. And you can witness this. Sometimes some strange things will happen. Like all your desires will be granted instantly. Take this, come back. How is it possible? We don't know, but this can happen. The seeker then swings between the illusion and the reality, illusion and the truth. It will happen for some time. Then we settle somewhere. We make a balance between our daily life, office, and spiritual life. Spiritual life is nothing, actually. There is nothing to do in that spiritual life. It is simply awareness, practice, knowledge, or sometimes satsangs or books or videos or meetings, get-togethers, some dance and music. That's all is spiritual life. There's nothing more in that. Sometimes people do some kind of rituals, practices. It's all okay, isn't it? We settle down. What will happen to office work? What will happen to housework? Nothing unusual will happen. It will continue. Only you will notice one thing, that the unnecessary things, they decrease. That which is completely unnecessary and stupid is dropped. Who drops it? There is nobody. It is gone. Nobody does it. The interest is gone and the fire is gone. Motivation is gone and the unnecessary is dropped. But the necessary cannot be dropped. That is the whole definition of necessity, that it must happen. Since there is nobody to do anything, there is no doer, the necessary happens. If the office work is necessary, it will happen. If something else is necessary, it will happen. That which is necessary to continue a good life will happen. It is completely normal. What is abnormal is leaving the path thinking that it has bad effects on my life. The good effects are coming. The good effects are a happy life, peaceful life, minimalist life, progress, evolution. This is going to happen now, and the old will be gone. So the sooner you realize what is old and unnecessary and give it up, the better it is for you. Not only for Rinki, everybody. Drop the old. It's not going to be attractive now. There will be no motivation to do all this donkey work that people do every day. They get nothing, isn't it? So do that which is necessary. And in the remaining time, do that which you like. Probably you will like mostly the spiritual stuff now. Sometimes you may like parties, dinners, people. You may want that thing because that is human nature. It's perfectly okay. Do not do it extreme. That is the nature of the path of knowledge or a seeker, jnani, that they avoid extreme. They avoid extreme inaction and they avoid extreme unnecessary actions. And then there will be a little bit of ups and downs in the life, but it will not be like a cyclone. Sometimes there is snow, sometimes there is desert, heat. No, it won't be like this. It will be like pleasant weather. Sometimes 20 degrees, sometimes 25 degrees. That's all. For an outsider, that life will be boring, who is egoic in nature. I'm not saying it is bad. It is how it is, isn't it? For somebody who is established in awareness, this is heavenly life. But yes, whenever there is a need, we act, we make it, we turn it into an adventure, then we come back in the peaceful life. So moment to moment, everything will go away. That is the final truth, isn't it? Impermanence. So motivation comes and goes away. Yes. Demotivation comes, goes away. Something else will come, it will go away. These are the rhythms of the life. Sometimes they happen in months, weeks. Sometimes they happen in years. And sometimes, which people don't know, it happens across many lifetimes. The Maya is cyclic. We say the illusion is cyclic in nature. Laws of the mind. You must be knowing this thing. It happens in cycles. Nothing remains. Continue on the path. Continue on the path. Especially if you have already decided that this is the job of my lifetime, which is called pre-allocation. I was born to progress spiritually, and this time I found this path. Let me try this, whatever happens. And if there is, now there is a practical angle that I'm not able to work, I don't like to meet people, I don't like to talk, I don't cry and I don't laugh. What to do? So remembering this thing, realizing this thing, completely that it is all impermanent state. Enjoy the silence. Enjoy the peace. Enjoy the demotivated laziness of the life. I am giving you a guarantee it will not last more than a month or 2 months. It won't. This body mind is made for action. It is an organ of action, like we say. Organs of knowledge and organs of actions. Or organs of perception and organs of work. So it won't sit. It will do something. Probably it will do something better because now there is a expanded intelligence here, spiritual insight. You will pick up something which is more meaningful for this life, which is more enjoyable, which benefits others also. So if you doubt these things, then no, probably I'll remain depressed for whole of my life. Probably such thoughts must be coming. You need to simply do the fact checking. How spiritual people are living. Are they living inside a room crying whole day? I can see that the non-spiritual or the worldly person is like this. They are trapped in a pattern of suffering. Sometimes there is joy. It goes away. But spiritual people are enjoying their lives most. They are free. Their lives are illuminated in the light of knowledge. You can go and check people. Are these people crying all the time? Are they locked in some cave? They don't come out of the cave for many years. Probably one or two, 1 in a million is like this, isn't it? But they will say, I'm not unhappy. I'm not suffering. I'm doing it because I'm like this. Spiritual people are really crazy sometimes. But most of the time, ordinary lives are happening in peace. Whatever happens, they simply welcome it, they tackle it, they handle it, they manage it, and they continue. Ultimately, it ends. It is momentary. So, hopefully that answers your question. Bhupen is saying, do dreams have any significance with regard to Tantra? I don't know. Only a Tantric can tell you. And I think they will assign a significance or a meaning to a dream according to their own experience. Which means, in short, simple words, it is very subjective. Everybody has their own meaning, their own significance, whether it is in Tantra or whether it is in psychology, psychoanalysis. On the path of knowledge, even the waking has no significance. The waking state is also a dream, it is illusion. Just like I said, momentary. Something is happening in existence and it disappears. The good news is the dreamer is more significant. Not only on the path of knowledge, on any path. The dreamer in front of which the dream is appearing is the most significant. It is the most meaningful part of the existence. You can say part or you can say essence of the existence. Remember, the dreamer is you, experiencer. That is most significant. Everything that comes and goes in any path is disposable. It is meaningless, useless. It totally depends on what practice you are doing. If you are doing some practices related to dreams, then probably for that person, whoever is doing that practice, there will be some meaning, there will be some significance. But for an ordinary person, it is completely useless. For on the path of knowledge, total illusion. The more significance you attach to the dream or waking or any other state, the more trapped you will get. The mind will be trapped in this illusion. So, assign more significance to the dreamer, the experiencer. Remember that. Remain in awareness. If you give more importance to dreams and superstitions, tantra, mantras, you will be lost. This whole life will become a useless activity for you, useless dream. So what we do, we take advantage of whatever is appearing as a dream and we search in the dream only to find the dreamer. Once we find the experiencer, the witness of the illusion, there is nothing more to do. That is the most important thing. That means the life was fulfilled. That means the life was successful. So on the path of knowledge, all these activities are insignificant. You are the highest. Remember this thing. That is not a dream. Probably that is the only thing which is not a dream. Not probably, certainly. Your own essence is the only truth. That is the only significant thing. And then I saying, how must one practice oneness? Finding it most challenging out of all practices to be one with everything, everyone around. See, practice means you are trying to bring oneness somehow, isn't it? Since the oneness is already there, everything is happening in the background of oneness, you cannot bring it. You can remember it, that it is already one. It is not divided, 2, 3 or 1,000. Since it is already there, you cannot practice it. What can you practice which is not there? You are a woman. How much practice you will need to be a woman? Is it challenging to remain a woman? And you will laugh. You will say, no, that is stupid. I am already a woman. It does not take practice. It is not challenging. Do you find it challenging to be a woman? Always? No, because you are already that. Same way, everything is already one. What is the challenge there? You need to remember it. You will remember it if you have verified the truth of it. If the verification was successful, you will be certain. There won't be any doubt. But if you have doubts, it is one or not, that means knowledge has not established. You simply heard that there is oneness. Now you are trying to practice the oneness, which is the wrong path, wrong practice. It is already there. Establish this fact through the proper means of knowledge. If you have any doubts, you can always ask me that I can't find oneness today. It takes 1 second to realize it is all one. You can go through that chapter again and ask me again if you have doubts that it is not oneness. I need to practice to be one with everything. I am not already one with everything, or I can't remember it. You see, even if you don't remember it, this creature, this brain, this mind, body, organism, machine does not remember oneness. It does not make it not oneness. It does not break it. It still remains oneness. Now this forgetting is happening in oneness. You are one with forgetting. So there is only one practice on the path of knowledge, which is awareness practice, which is also not very necessary. Only those who want it, those who are interested, they can do awareness practice. It is because you identify with the body mind. Newcomers, the new people, new seekers, they have a tendency to stick to the body mind ignorance, old ignorance. So for them, a little bit of practice is given that always remember who you are. You see, that awareness is not there, and therefore it takes some practice to remain aware. All you can do is add in your awareness practice that everything is one. The illusion is also me. Changing and unchanging are one. The names and forms and the true nature are one. Add this thing, although it will not do anything. It has hardly any effect. Awareness has the most effect. Try to master it. Try to master awareness. Oneness is already there. You are so lucky, isn't it? You don't need to make everything one. It was not possible for an ordinary human being to bring everything together and make it one. Luckily, it's all one. You are Brahman already. Otherwise, this human, it was impossible for it to become Brahman. So, be in gratitude. Remember this knowledge. Verify it if you have any doubts. And never practice anything arbitrarily, willy-nilly, without asking, without realizing what will be the consequence of that practice. Many people do that, isn't it? They keep practicing something. They heard it somewhere. They watch the video. They start practicing. It is total waste of time, waste of life. No path, no guru, no system, no idea what it will do. And obviously, it will be all challenging now because you are driving without headlights on in mountain roads. Is it not challenging? Yes. Yes. So, one path, one guru, one practice. Master it. Become a master. Why do they call these gurus masters? Teach me, master. Why? They have mastered something. They are not randomly practicing stupid things from the internet. Who will call them master? There is an article on Wise Words about random practices, arbitrary practices. Everybody should read that article on Wise Words, gyanmarg.guru. It can be harmful sometimes. So, awareness. And as long as you are struggling with awareness, you need to practice. After that, leave it. It is boring. If I tell you to remember you are a woman every hour, it will become boring after a while. Because you will say, I know what I am. Same way, I'll tell you to remember who you are, what is your true nature every hour. After probably 1 year, you will give it up because you will say, I know what I am. That is the most natural way to live. To be in awareness without any effort, effortless practice. Yes, if you face any problems in awareness practice, you can ask me. I'll try my best to solve it. But if there is no recommended practice and you ask about it, because I don't do it, I've never done it, I won't be able to help you. Anurikta is saying, years ago I saw a dream where I saw an elf telling me to leave the ego. At that time I didn't understand anything because I didn't even know what is ego at that time. But it is even possible to do that. Although I have heard about the ego death and all. Very interesting, yes. Just like I said, it is very subjective. What people see in dreams is their own personal unconscious impressions on the memory. And they need to find a meaning. Sometimes it is not possible to find a meaning. Sometimes you will find a meaning. 1 in a million dreams will have a little bit of meaning like this. What is more important for us is the waking state. Even though it is like a dream, here there is a little bit of awareness, there is a little bit of intelligence, organization. It is organized experience. It is a meaningful experience. It is bound by rules, very stable. And here you listen to what the great people, masters, gurus are saying. Not elf or anything imaginary. Check what these great people are saying. Are they not telling you that it is possible to get rid of the ego? I mean, to get rid of the ego means simply to realize that it is an illusion and use it like an illusion. Are they not telling you? In India, don't we hear all these things since childhood? Every day. All books, all scriptures. Are they not telling you to realize your egoless, pure nature? Have you heard that? Or you are searching for something mysterious in the deep darkness of dream in the sleep? Which is more intelligent? Waking dream or that random dream about which we don't know what happens there? The problem is an average person thinks that the waking state is useless life activity, survival. Nothing good is here. and they search for little bit of adventure and miracle in other states of the mind. And unfortunately, they know the only other state they know is dream. So whatever little bit happens there, they cling to it. This must be important. No, see what is happening in the waking state. Is that totally unimportant? What is being taught here? However, for an average person, it is not attractive. In India, we make it so colorful. You must have seen. So colorful and attractive, juicy. Still, they are not attracted because it has become an everyday event for them. The message is embedded in all these stories and music and songs and thousands of books. How many people manage to get that message? And when something a little bit appears in some kind of muddy dream, foggy dream, blurry dream, they think it is important. I don't know why. You can only explain it as the cover up by the illusion. They are completely drowned in illusion. Darkness of the illusion is so complete that they cannot see that which is in front of their nose, and they're searching somewhere else. Now, for the first time in your life, you decided to do something intelligent. You joined a path, you found a guru, you started your practice, you got the knowledge. At least now, you should leave all that foolish thinking. Dreams are the best thing in my life. Foolish. Utilize this life. Most of our life is waking state. And in waking state also, we get few hours to realize its full potential. This body is our vehicle. This world is our school, classroom. Utilize. Any intelligent person will do that. An deranged person, deluded person will simply get lost in unusual stories like dreams and so on. So once you know all the reality, once you know the truth, once you get the knowledge, then you are free to play in the illusion. That is a matter of interest now. That won't be called a waste of life. You can try to master the illusion also. And the mastery starts by not believing that it is true. Not believing that the dream state or any state or waking state also is a miracle. You must realize that it is an illusion. Then only there is some possibility of mastering the illusion. See, for a spiritual person, other people are not very important. It is not a good idea to do some practice simply because the other person is not according to your liking. You don't like that person. So let me do some practice. Is this logical? And you do that practice because of this person and you don't feel good in that presence of that person. Let us say you solve that problem. Now you don't feel anything. You feel only oneness and compassion and love. But immediately next day you will meet some other person who is worse than this one. And next day you will meet 10 more. And remember, there are billions. How many practices will you do? Which practice will get rid of all these illogical people, other people? Impossible. So when it is raining, you do not count the raindrops, which one is falling on me, which is not. You simply use an umbrella, not about other. It is not selfish. It is about the self, self-centered. For a seeker, one's own progress is most important. Not judging what the other people are doing. Are they illogical? Are they full of this or that? Everybody is full of all kinds of things in this world, including seekers and gurus. So we don't worry. We don't care. What is best for you? That is most logical. Not who is best for you. They change, Even if you get the best person in the world, in 1 week they change into something else because they are dynamic activity. But there is no person there, isn't it? The person is simply a flowing river. It changes. Impermanent structure. You are the same. And do you want to change in a positive direction of the evolution, progress? Or you want to manage people using some practices? That is the worst possible action. See what is your path. Take the advice of those who travel on the path, the masters, the gurus, and utilize your life, which is momentary. It can go away anytime. Death is certain. Do you want to waste it on some person who is not logical? So that is the spiritual advice, and the practical advice is, why is that person there? Who has tied you down with that kind of person? Whose fault is that? The other person's? No, it is your. Like we say, it is all our karma. You are with such people, that means you must have done something wrong. Now correct it. Get rid of that life. Nobody is binding you. You are free. You are liberated. Nobody is forcing you to be around such people. So the good solution is not to do oneness practice. The good solution is to fix our actions, fix our mistakes. And then if there is oneness, you will be happy, blissful. If there is no oneness, you will be blissful. The problem is not that there is no oneness, I need to practice it, is that our actions are faulty. Oneness is always there. Suffering happens in complete oneness. You and suffering are one. Remember this. It will not take away suffering. You will only realize that I am suffering also. So the practical advice is, just like all the seekers do, they leave. You cannot fix people. That will be too much egoic. I can fix somebody. I need to fix somebody because I like it this way. That is stupidity and ego. And nobody can be fixed because, just like I said, they are flowing rivers. They change again. Not to fix. You can only leave. There's no point in fixing the illusion. It is perfectly okay. It is as it is. See, this event is giving you a lesson. Try to know what is the lesson. Why am I bound to people? Why am I tolerating everybody? What is my bondage here? What is my attachment here? There can be, isn't it? There can be attachment. There can be dependency, financial, physical, mental, emotional. There can be all these kind of dependencies, which are our fault. We were lazy. We did not become independent. And we became dependent on other people. Now we need to tolerate these people. So it is all wrong actions since birth. Since many births, these actions are happening. Now you need to correct it. That is the practical wisdom, isn't it? Do not hide behind the oneness practice. Face your dark side. Face the wrong actions that you have done. Just now I said, there is no wrong action, there is no right action. Yes, if you can drop it now, drop the right and wrong, and you are free. But I don't think the average seeker can do this in one day. And this process of dropping, leaving, is called purification because we are removing something. So that is a slow path. If you want, you can do purification. We deal with people in the part of purification, which is called relationship purification, purification of relations. There are 10 or 12 such videos in step number 6 of our program. They start from purification of your environment, your house. It is amazing, isn't it? We need to teach people all these things. Then the purification of the body, how we are treating our body. Remember, body is also you. All the bodies are you. And then purification of emotions and energies and purification of intellect. And finally, purification of awareness. The bottom to top approach is recommended for purification. However, if you are a very strong seeker, if your knowledge is very strong, you can drop all this garbage today. Nobody is there. No people are there. Nobody is illogical. Nobody has rage. I am also not there. No complaints. No practice needed. I think 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000 can do this thing. Okay, I am dependent. It is not my action. Okay, this is happening. Nobody is doing it. Can you live like this? Because it will be a big achievement if you can. Careless, free, liberated. Very few people can do this because their own actions have caused this kind of bondage. That is why all the seekers, once they progress, they leave the world. Which means they leave not only physical things, belongings and stuff, unimportant things. They leave all the people. They leave their mother, father, children, whatever, husband, wife. It means nothing. An ordinary seeker is not like this. They are all bound, they are all attached. So we prescribe purification. If you don't have these kind of impurities, then you can skip the purification, enjoy your life, whatever it is fine. You get this kind of person, fine. You get a good person, okay. This is freedom. Now you're trying to bend the illusion with some dreams and tantra, mantra and oneness practice just to fix one person because you don't like that person. That is not called a seeker. That is not a seeker. That person needs to be fixed according to me, according to my viewpoint. The person who needs most fixing is this one who is thinking like this. Others are okay. They're just like other creatures, you see. They're doing whatever they're doing. Arvind is saying, as soon as I start doing some work, instead of being in awareness, an identity comes to my mind how to deal with this. You can deal with this in step number 4. Right now, I think you are in step number 3, contemplation. That is step number 3. So is that happening without any problems? Verification, contemplation, checking the knowledge, checking the logic. Because awareness practice is given in step number 4. There are videos, there are tricks, there are guidelines, and there are weekly reports. What causes awareness, what destroys awareness, like your home, your work. So what is happening is you are trying to do something without training. Like I said, nobody gave the practice, but you are trying to do it. So failure is guaranteed. Our program is disciplined. That means success is guaranteed if you do it properly, if you follow the instructions. So what will happen is you heard some things. You heard the teachings of path of knowledge and whatever philosophy. Hopefully you liked it. Now you need to check whether it is true or not. Whatever was said is true or not. How to check? Direct experience and logic. There is no other way. That was also told. The method of checking is also told. How to know it is true or not? It should not change. And once that is final, you are happy, you are satisfied, it is proven for you, final truth, then awareness will come automatically. That is the advantage of going step by step. Right now, you heard something, you forgot half of it. Hopefully not, because we make you write things so that you remember these things. And you are trying to do some practice without knowing how to do it. And so the result will be 0. It is very necessary. Whether you can do the awareness practice or not, whether you got the knowledge little bit also or not. Should I send you to the step number 4 or not? How do we know this? Exam. I ask you some questions. If I am happy with the answers, good or bad, right or wrong, does not matter really. We check the readiness of the seeker to practice. And somehow we send them. The passing marks are 50% only. This is the easiest exam in the world. And then we worry about awareness. Are you sure that whatever you heard is true? If yes, you can appear in the exam and straight away you start practicing next day. There we deal with what causes loss of awareness, which work is causing it. And probably the cause is very simple. You don't have practice. You forget. It is not work. It can be anything. Music, movie, like she said, bad people, irritating people, or disease, mental tensions. It can be anything at all. Why is that? Because there is no practice. Practice means what? You have made it your habit to be aware. And the habit takes some time. The habit formation takes a lot of time. It is just like any other practice. It is like a person saying that I heard some song on radio, YouTube, TV, and I'm trying to sing, but nothing happens. I cannot sing. Same like you heard the meaning of awareness and the word awareness practice somewhere. Now you're trying to do it. Yes, nothing will happen. Just like singing will take many years of constant practice. Sadhana, isn't it? It is hard work. Although our awareness practice is not hard work. But the music, and after 10-20 years, that person will be able to sing a little bit, like 10% of the original singer. This is the reality, isn't it? This is called practical. The word practical comes from practice. So it will take many years to master the awareness. That also, if you remain disciplined, that also when you have accepted in your being, not only intellectually, it becomes a reality for you who you are. It does not remain a philosophy or some videos in the memory. It is the final reality for you. It is the truth for you. Only then there will be some practice. Only then you will be motivated to practice it. Otherwise, why? You heard some philosophy somewhere, you want to practice it. It's not going to work. So how to know whether it is true or not? How to affirm it? Make it firm, solid. Verification. How to do verification? Direct experience and logic. What if some problems are there? What if I cannot verify anything? Online meeting. What if even after trying a lot, I cannot verify even the basic things like I am the experiencer, etc., etc. This path is totally useless then. That is why the step number 3 recommend that you leave the path, because it will waste your life, it will waste your time. You could not verify its truth. So everything is for your benefit. The program, the steps, the discipline is for the benefit of seekers who want to really do it, who are interested in this. So I'll give you an example just to make it very clear that what will happen if you touch a hot pan one day. The next day, the same pan is there and fire is burning below it. It is on the stove. How much practice will it take to remember that I should not touch it? You burnt your hand once. How much practice? Suppose you are doing something really important and somebody brings a red hot pan, touch this. How much practice will it take to realize, no, I don't need to? Will you ask this question, how to deal with me touching the hot pan again every day when I'm working? You will say, what kind of question is this? Because this realization that the pan is hot happened so strongly, there is no doubt in your mind. Even in sleep, you will not touch the hot pan. This is the magic of verification. The pan is hot is the final truth for you, and now in work, people, struggle of life, nothing. Even if you read some scriptures, they will say even death will not erase this impression of knowledge. This is the final life, final birth for the seeker. Which seeker? Who has realized the truth. Remember, these words are not small words. Realize the truth. It has become real. What you are has become real for you. Now no practice is needed at all. I'll tell you the secret. I don't do any practice. People keep asking me, which special practice do you do? Tell me that. I don't want to do this practice given in the program. It is for kids. And they are surprised when I say I don't do anything. I really don't do anything. Why? Because I have verified it for 20 years that these things are what they are, you see. Remember that on the path of knowledge, we don't get knowledge. And ultimately, there is nothing true and nothing false. So I lived it. I did not listen to it. I did not memorize it. I did not give any exam. My guru said, you always fail. Because that's what happened, you see. Whenever he used to ask anything, I used to reply something wrong. So he said, nothing can be done for you. You are a big failure. You are a complete failure, useless seeker. So what I did was, I removed all my doubts about what is the teaching, what is it saying? Is it really in front of me? Or are there some words, intellectual concepts? I checked that. And now I don't need to do anything. It is all oneness all the time. It is all awareness whenever I want. I see the hot pan, I don't touch it. Very simple life. No practice. Why are you given the practice? Because we want you to start somewhere, isn't it? We want you to take the first step. Can I say don't practice at all? You see, sleep peacefully all day. No. You will say what kind of teacher he is. What kind of program is this? People want all the bells and whistles and all the practices, the best practices in the universe. Even if it involves sitting on Mount Everest, they are ready to do it. But nobody wants no practice. Nobody wants effortless effort. Nobody wants pathless path. So we add these things. We add the spice there. Okay, verify it. If nothing works, we'll ask you to practice. So touching the hot pan is important. Then your practice will become effortless. See how simple it is. And another example is somebody jumps in the river that, there is something called swimming. Somebody told me there is something called swimming. I need to check it. I need to practice it. On which step you are? And he says, no step. I don't have anything. I don't even have a teacher. I don't have a coach, master. And he jumps in the river. Will he be able to swim for 1 minute? He will drown, or somebody will hopefully rescue that person. Why did that happen? No training, isn't it? It takes a long time to train the body for swimming. Only a strong person can swim. Same way, it takes a long time to train yourself in awareness. Ordinary seeker, we are all ordinary. Like my guru said, you are worse than ordinary. But I can do it. So I'm confident that everybody can do it. I'm nothing special. I did it. Everybody can do it. Swimming is not a special ability. Same way, awareness is not a special ability. All you need to do is train yourself. Practice, practice, practice. So this will happen if you simply jump without training. It will be a big failure. If you train yourself, go systematically, utilize the experience of those who have already done this. We have many senior seekers. You can join these groups, ask them how they practice, but step by step. That is the key. Step by step. People think spirituality means magic. It is magic, isn't it? It is magic, but you need the proper ritual. The proper ritual on the path of knowledge is discipline. So training is necessary. This program is simply disciplining of the intellect. So here I think all the questions are over for today, and I'll see you next week. Thank you everybody for attending today's satsang. Namaste.